Hello, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ake Putri Gunawan. I am a student of English Department at Faculty of Humanities in Universitas Komputer Indonesia. Thank you for having me. Today, I am going to talk about verbs. The aim of my talk will be mostly to explore four different types of verbs. On an average day, a lot of things can happen, such as people go to work, kids study in school, animals hunt for food, friends talk to each other. All of these sentences express basic ideas about everyday events. However, we can also use sentences to express more complicated ideas, such as people will chase their dreams to get what they want. Both our simple sentences and complex sentences have something in common. They all use verbs. Verbs are very important in grammar, and we actually use many different types of verbs when we talk about what things do or how things are. Because they do so much for us, it is only fair that we take the time to learn a little more about verbs and some of the common types of verbs used in English. Therefore, I really hope that in the next 5 or more minutes, I will be able to finish the presentation. And last, I will be happy to answer questions at the end of my presentation. So, what is a verb? A verb is a word that we use to refer to actions or what things do, and states of being or how things are. For example, the words describe, aid, and rotate are verbs. As you are about to see, verbs come in a lot of different types that don't all behave the same way. When using proper grammar, it is important that you use verbs correctly. So we are going to explore the many different types of verbs that we use and how to successfully use them to create great, clear sentences. We are going to explore 4 different types of verbs because every type deserves some attention, but we won't be going into too much detail on each type. Listed below are each of the 4 types of verbs we are going to look at. The first is action verbs. The second are transitive and intransitive verb. The third is auxiliary verb. And the last one is modal verb. Action verbs, as their name says, are used to refer to actions. These can refer to physical actions that are performed with bodies or objects such as jump, hit, or sing, or mental actions that we use our brains to perform, such as think, consider, or memorize. Most verbs you will find are action verbs. Next. A transitive verb is a verb that is accompanied by a direct object in a sentence. The direct object is noun, pronoun, or noun phrase that is having something done to it by the subject or of the sentence. For example, she reads a newspaper, I bring lunch today. Meanwhile, intransitive verb doesn't need an object. For example, I sleep, she cries. Third one, auxiliary verb. Helping verbs, also called auxiliary verbs, are helpful verbs that work with other verbs to change the meaning of a sentence. A helping verb combines with a main verb in order to accomplish different goals. This includes changing the tense of the verb or altering the mood of a sentence. The auxiliary verbs are be verbs, have, and do. Finally, the last one, modal verb. Modal verbs are a subgroup of helping verbs that are used to give a sentence a specific mood. Each modal verb is used differently They can express concepts such as ability, necessity, possibility, permission, expectation, and obligation. For example, can, must, will, should, and ought. As the heart of the sentence and clauses, verbs show what the subject is doing or feeling, even if they are just existing. Verbs are also the only type of words that's absolutely necessary to make a sentence. Not even nouns, which represent things, need to be in every sentence. Verbs aren't just necessary for grammar, there are also helpful words for writing. Whether you are writing a school essay, work email, or social media posts, try to use verbs over nouns or adjectives to provide the details. This may be involved rewording some of your sentences, but your change will improve your writing as a whole. Strong writing uses as few words as possible. So a single verb sounds better than a group of words that say the same thing. Of course, knowing the right word in every circumstance is not easy, especially if English isn't your primary language. That will be all my presentation today. Thank you for all your kind attention.